Hello, my name is Coronavirus. You can call me Mr. C for short. I was born in a city in China called Wuhan on the 31st of December 2019. My mum and dad were bats. Not long after I was born, I decided I wanted to travel China, and being a very friendly little person, I wanted to meet as many people in China as I could. So I did a tour around Wuhan and met quite a few people. Then I spread my wings and I covered virtually most of China, where I met thousands and thousands of people. Then after meeting so many people in China, I thought I'd travel even further. I ignored neighbours like India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Mongolia, Russia, and I decided to go across this way, and I dropped into South Korea. Met a few nice people there, didn't stay long. Then I thought I might as well go on a cruise. So I wandered off, and I just happened to find a nice cruise ship named the Diamond Princess. And I cruised along there for a few days and met so many lovely people. When that cruise was over, we came back to Japan, but I didn't stay long because I don't really fancy Japan too much. So what I decided to do, I went along and I went to Canada. And there I was lucky enough to meet the President Trudeau's wife, a lovely woman, and I was privileged to meet her. But that was my only stop in Canada. I decided just to pop into the United States, and because I'm a huge NBA basketball fan, I thought I'd drop into Utah State, where I heard a Utah Jazz player, a name of Ruby Gobert. He made fun of me. He made fun of Mr. C. So I thought I'd meet him and have a few stern words with him. But he was a nice guy, as were a few other Utah players. So after meeting Mr. Gobert, I was privileged to meet my favourite NBA basketballer, whose name was Kevin Durant, who hadn't been playing for a year, but we shook hands and said hello, and then I wandered off. To my shock horror, the next few days as I was leaving the United States, I turned the TV on to watch the NBA basketball, and I found out it was suspended because Mr. Gobert from Utah wasn't feeling well. So I was starting to get a bit of a complex. Surely it's not because of me that strange things are happening all over the world. So I didn't want to go down South America because, no one really cares about them and no one worries about them. They have their own problems. So I decided, let's head off to the United Kingdom, where I met my favourite man, Prince Charles. What a wonderful man. Funnily enough, his lovely wife Camilla wasn't there when I met him, and that was a pity. I asked Charlie how Mum and Dad were going, and he said, they were doing great. Better than ever, fit as fiddles. And I considered paying a visit to Lizzie and Phil Baby, but I thought, no one's going to believe me that I actually met the Queen. So I gave that a miss. So while in London, I thought I'd just pop round the corner to 10 Downing Street, and I'll visit Boris Baby. So I popped around, and sure enough, Boris was there. He was actually giving an address to the nation. When it was finished, I shook hands with the great man, said hello, didn't stay long, and I was on my way. So I didn't bother going up Iceland or Greenland or anywhere up north because it's too cold. I don't like the cold weather, but I did go to Sweden. I had to meet the wonderful Greta Asperger. So I said hello to this wonderful young girl, Greta. So then, where was I going to go then? Let's just bypass a few countries, bypass Ukraine. Let's drop into Italy. Always loved Italy, a beautiful place. I stayed there for a while, met many people, and then after that I went to Spain, met a lot of wonderful people there as well. Didn't stay there long. I bypassed all of South Africa because they got enough problems anyway. So, didn't have time to meet anyone there. So I headed this way and I went to Turkey, met a few people there. But then the big one, I went to Iran. Down here, I went to Iran and stayed there for quite a few days, a week actually. And by God, did I meet a lot of good people, because I know they've been having a hard time recently, being under attack by certain countries. And from what I heard, things aren't looking too good for Iran in the future. So I thought I'd see what it was like in Iran, and a lot of great people I met. So after that, where was I to go? Where else but avoiding India once again? India's so many people. I just, didn't have time to go there and shake hands with the 1.375 billion people. Plus, it's a bit of a shitty place to go to. But anyway, I avoided that. I went straight over Indonesia. On my way to Australia, I thought it was time for another cruise. So I went on the Ruby Princess, would you believe? And I had a few days cruising around on the Ruby Princess and met so many wonderful people as well. And on my way to Australia, I heard my favourite actor, Tom Hanks, was there. Up here, up north at the Gold Coast, I had to meet Tom, baby. I loved his movies. Before I was even born, I used to love watching his movies. And I happened to just meet Tommy and his young wife, Mrs. Wilson, whatever you want to call her, not Mrs. Hanks. But anyway, we spent a couple hours together, and it was a pleasure to meet Tom Hanks. And if you're in Australia, you must go to the Capital Territory in Canberra, where Parliament House is, and I bumped into a few politicians there. A woman, I think her name is Wong Wong or something like that. Another guy, Mr. Dutton. We, shook hands, said hello. I didn't stay there long, so I had other places to go in Australia, especially New South Wales, where I went straight to a nursing home. And there I met three lovely people. I think one was 95, the others were in the 80s. They were lovely people, lovely old people. Said hello, shook hands, and said goodbye. And then, of course, I didn't go to the other parts of Australia. No point going around there because most people are on the southeast side of Australia. So I popped in late on my tour. I popped into Victoria, Melbourne, actually, where I went to a hospital and met two lovely gentlemen there who were cancer patients. I really felt sorry for them. I wished them the best of luck, but anyway, I didn't stay there long. So I just left the shores of Australia. So where do I go to next? I contemplated on going to New Zealand, but I thought, why bother? That place will be in lockdown anyway. No point going there. They'll lock that place down, and the population of New Zealand, they fell for the Christchurch shooting a year ago. They'll fall for anything. They'll lock down the country without me even visiting them. So there, for now, is my adventures around the world. Who knows where I'm going to end up? Right now, I'm looking for another cruise ship. I might just go up somewhere towards USA. There must be a cruise ship. There's 250 going around the world just about all the time during the year. I just so happen to be on two princess ships. That was a real coincidence, but I'm sure there's another one I can hop on and have another cruise. And after that, who knows what's going to happen. So anyway, hope you enjoyed my adventure around the world. I'm signing off now. This is Mr. C.